Let's explore Universal Ticketing Agent, UniTiAg. In our previous videos, we explored the pros and cons of closed-loop and open-loop fare collection systems, along with two crucial observations. First observation: open-loop systems cannot exist without a closed-loop component, as it is essential to include the unbanked population and debit card holders. This necessity adversely impacts the cost of fare collection, COFC, primarily due to the high costs associated with closed-loop card distribution and top-up infrastructure. Second observation: open-loop systems involve contactless transactions at validators through payment schemes like Visa and MasterCard, effectively turning these validators into points of sale, POS. This directly contributes to cost of fare collection due to card acquiring costs and indirectly, through compliance with payment scheme and PCI DSS regulations. Heavy dependency on the existing acquiring processor, in combination with dependency on software and hardware validation components, may negatively impact your future investments into your ABT system upgrades. In this video, we will introduce an innovative open-loop approach known as the Universal Ticketing Agent, UniTiAg, which addresses these challenges and aims to reduce open-loop cost of fare collection. UniTiAg eliminates the POS component at validators, removing the associated costs of card acquiring. UniTiAg is designed to be more accommodating to debit card holders, thus decreasing reliance on closed-loop ticketing infrastructure. We will discuss how these enhancements can be achieved and also consider the potential downsides of the UniTiAg approach. UniTiAg introduces three key components: online marketplaces, also known as two-sided marketplaces; open-to-ride balance, OTRB, associated with the rider's open-loop card; and UniTiAg service, which manages OTRBs and fare and trip-related data. Online marketplaces are fundamental to the UniTiAg system. Examples include eBay, Amazon, and Uber, mentioned here purely for illustrative purposes, without implying any direct participation in UniTiAg. Marketplaces have two types of customers: sellers selling their merchandise and services online. Shoppers, purchasing merchandise and services online. Payment can occur either after the service, like with Uber, or in advance, as with Amazon. UniTiAg transforms transit agencies into online sellers that sell their services at marketplaces, after the fact. UniTiAg transforms transit riders to shoppers who purchase the transit services at the marketplaces, using so-called open-to-ride balance, OTRB. Credit card holders pay after the fact, for example once a day, for all trips they registered when they tapped their credit card associated with their open-to-ride balance. Debit card holders use the debit cards or bank accounts to fund the OTRB in advance. Open-to-ride balance, OTRB, acts as transit money purchased online from the marketplace, enabling riders to use transit services up to their OTRB value. Essentially, OTRB functions like a virtual closed-loop card, but transit operators do not need to issue physical cards. With UniTiAg, transit validators do not process payment transactions at the time of card tap. Instead, they verify that the tapped card is associated with an OTRB and that sufficient balance exists for the trip. Upon tapping, the validator reports the charged fare to UniTiAg, which then updates the OTRB and propagates the updated balance across all validators before the card is tapped again. There is ample time to actualize the OTRB while the rider is on their trip. UniTiAg periodically communicates all sold fares to the marketplace, which reconciles transit agencies for the services provided, similar to how it handles other sellers. The marketplace also charges riders for the services and replenishes their OTRB. Is UniTiAg fare collection system an open loop? Validators will display marketplace logos, rather than those of payment schemes like Visa or MasterCard. Your transit agency may function as a merchant across multiple marketplaces. From the perspective of a regular patron, this is an open-loop ticketing system. The patron does not need a specific closed-loop card, they use their Visa, MasterCard, etc. Initially, they simply log into their marketplace account, associate their open loop card with an OTRB, set an initial balance, and establish a minimum amount for automatic top-ups. After this setup, they can use their card for daily commutes and in other transit systems accepting classic open loop payments. For tourists, the presence of marketplace logos instead of payment scheme logos at validators may come as a surprise. If a rider does not have an OTRB with any of the marketplaces where your transit agency sells its services, the card tap will be declined. If tourist traffic is low in your city, this can be managed through educational efforts, such as displaying a QR code at bus stops with instructions: scan the QR code, download the marketplace app, create an OTRB, tap your open loop card or smartphone, and ride. If tourism is a significant source of revenue for your city, you may want to consider implementing a classic open loop component for your transit agency in conjunction with UniTiAg. Both components will use the same validators and card readers. In this scenario, your validators would display both payment scheme logos and marketplace logos. Classic open loop transactions may incur higher cost of fare collection. You may incentivize patrons to use UniTiAg by offering discounts. We already discussed that UniTiAg is friendly to debit card holders, potentially reducing the need for expensive closed-loop card distribution. UniTiAg cannot resolve the issue of including unbanked customers, but it can significantly mitigate this challenge. You can utilize reloadable prepaid debit contactless cards issued by retail networks that allow cash top-ups, which may be more cost-effective than installing cash-accepting vending machines. We should not forget about the marketplace seller fees that will add to your cost of fare collection. They will include card acquiring fees for e-commerce transaction. The latter will be lesser compared to the classic open loop fees, because of higher transaction aggregation, one OTRB top-up for many fares. Besides, acquiring processors give marketplaces discounts for higher transaction flow. Regular merchandise sellers could pay around 15% of their revenue to the marketplace, but this includes such marketplaces' services as warehousing, inventory management, and web space for the merchandise presentation, which is not required in your case. In summary, small and mid-sized transit agencies can leverage the UniTiAg solution to emulate both open-loop and closed-loop functionalities, effectively lowering cost of fare collection. For larger transit agencies with substantial tourist traffic, classic open-loop functionality can be integrated with UniTiAg to cater to tourists while optimizing costs. Epilogue. After watching our videos, you have realized that it is not an easy task to build a ticketing system which is right for your city. How can you effectively select and combine software, hardware, and service components to create a solution tailored to your needs, one that functions seamlessly instead of looking like this? To achieve a system where all components work harmoniously together and provide maximum value, consider these key rules of thumb. Create a request for proposal, RFP, that articulates your needs, focusing on clearly defined key performance indicators rather than on how you envision the solution working. In your RFP, provide a detailed description of your transit system and its ecological, social, economic, and technological environments. As a general guideline, prioritize software as a service, SaaS, solutions over in-house alternatives, and opt for reusable and customizable software components rather than bespoke solutions developed exclusively for your transit agency. Be mindful of the dependencies related to the system components offered, as this will facilitate flexibility for future upgrades. Thank you for your time. It was Eugene Leshuk. Copyrights 2024, Lifecycle Integrity Incorporated.